Today there was a warplane thundering across the skies over Cleveland. It was a World War II American airplane in Cleveland, not only to show off, but to help tell a story of American brave men and their bombing machines. News 5 anchor Leon Bibb here to tell us how he hitched a ride.
I put my thumb out and said, going my way, and they said, hop aboard, Leon. That's what I love. I also love aviation, and I'm a student of World War II history, two of my passions. So I signed on temporarily with the crew of a still-flying World War II bomber. You can catch a ride, too, and I will tell you how you can do that shortly. But for now, ride with me on a make-believe Cleveland 1940s wartime bomb run.
It was a workhorse of World War II, the B-17 bomber. Built in 1944, this one has been refurbished and put back on its feet. She is still spry. The B-17 was brought into Cleveland's Burke Lakefront Airport by the Liberty Foundation to keep alive an American hardware veteran of World War II. This plane is a flying history lesson of the American effort in the 1940s.
Bombing formations varied in size from one squadron up to a train of up to 1,000 bombers in a row, just coming in over target and dropping bombs.
Liberty Foundation's Madras Maiden keeps alive the story of not only machines of World War II, but also the men who fought. So Saturday and Sunday, the flight crew will offer, for a fee, rides to the public so it can get an idea of what the plane and men were asked to do in the war. Money will keep the plane flying. Before we flew, I joined the crew to do the necessary pulling through the propellers.
Helps get the oil where it needs to get. And this is something that's done before every flight.
Minutes later, we were off. Inside was a tight fit for the reporters who had hopped a ride. In the war, 10 men squeezed in here, from pilot to co-pilot to navigator and bombardier to radio man and gunners.
You have hot metal coming through thin aluminum and plexiglass. Fragments from flak, bullets from enemy aircraft. You're surrounded by a bunch of other airplanes, so you can't really maneuver to get out of the way.
In the war, the U.S. produced nearly 13,000 B-17s. 4,700 went down in combat, each with 10 men. Cameraman Gary Abrahamson and I squeezed in for our flight along the Cleveland shoreline. All of us envisioned what it must have been like in a war, dropping bombs on enemy targets while trying to elude enemy aircraft intent on shooting us down. Something to think about when you consider what it took to defeat the enemy in World War II. That's the lesson the Liberty Foundation's B-17 crew is teaching here in Cleveland and across the country.
Oh, that was awesome. From Burke Lakefront Airport, flights for the public will be from 10 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon, Saturday and Sunday. $450 a person. The money helps cover costs of operating the vintage bomber, which runs about $5,000 an hour. This is Leon Bibb reminding you that mostly the Liberty Foundation's B-17 teaches stories on the price Americans paid for freedom in the fight against tyranny in World War II.